Is Richmond Raceway America's longest short track or its shortest super speedway? Either way you look at it, Richmond embodies the characteristics of both and is a rocket-fast challenge to every driver who competes on the three-quarter-mile oval. Racers from the Camping World Truck, now Craftsman Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and NASCAR Cup Series find that Richmond requires both power and handling. To win here, you've got to have it all. Richmond Raceway started out as a half-mile dirt track on the Richmond Fairgrounds, first hosting races in 1953 under the name Strawberry Hill Speedway. 68 years later and 4 configurations later, there's now 51,000 plus grandstand seats, 40 luxury suites, and since 1991, all major events have been held under the lights in the evening. Tonight is the OxyGreen Solutions 150. It's coming up next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, joined in the broadcast booth by Eric Dotson. How you doing, Eric?
Doing good, Steve. How about you?
Doing well. Just getting ready here for race number 5 of the No Bull Racing Series, the OxyGreen Solutions 150. It is 150 laps. We get a stage break at the completion of lap 60. 2 sets of tires over the wall and a 69% fuel load. Temperature at the track, 78 degrees, 87% humidity. Track temp, cooling off, 83 degrees. So hopefully nice and cool for these guys to lay down some quick laps in the qualifying session. And here we are. Sun starting to set at Richmond Raceway. Practice just a couple of minutes shy of being complete. Fastest so far, Zach Millett, 21:94 the time.
Millett showing that he can be fast on the short tracks, the steep speedways, and the super speedways so far this season.
Well, I'll have to say, if Millett's got a weak point, it's the super speedway. I guess everybody says the super speedway tends to be the great equalizer, and it kind of is, because you can't necessarily outbrake a guy into one at Talladega unless you're doing 300 mile an hour, which we're definitely not doing. Place like Richmond, though, brakes come into play, being able to control the truck in a slide. Millett definitely very good at that, as well as guys like Brian McCann, Chris Mefford, Case and Plot, Channing Ballou, that whole top 5 in practice. They're up there for a reason. Brian Rose goes P5 here late in the session with a minute to go. So do we want to do... Go ahead, Eric.
I was just going to say, I think the only time I've slightly touched my brakes at a super speedways in the 87s when the tires get poor.
Do we want to make picks?
Do
we want to make picks before qualifying, or do we want to wait till after?
Let's go. I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, just so everyone's aware, the 42 of Channing Ballou is actually supposed to be the 9. We've got to correct that in our system. That's our issue. I've already updated it for next week, so it should display properly, but if you see him on track, he is in the 9. I am going to pick tonight. We're going to go with the 3 of Brian McCann.
Solid pick right there. I'm going to take... Oh, man, it's hard. There's so many good people. I'm going to take the 84 of Medford.
Chris Mefford, also another strong pick. Practice just like that is completed. Take a look at the results from the session. Indeed, it was Zach Millett with the fastest time at 21:906. Then Brian McCann, Chris Mefford, Case and Plot, Brian Rose, the top 5, Channing Ballou, Tristan Sykes, Jeremy Paris, David Bradford, Chris Mathis, the top 10. The Speed Clinic guys really filling up that top 10. So we'll go trackside here for qualifying. Brian Rose in an unfamiliar paint scheme. It's the agentdotson.com colors instead of Track Bar Media.
Prettiest truck out there. I know talking to Brian earlier, he was talking about how slick the track felt tonight. So that's going to be something to look at throughout the night.
And keeping an eye on track temperatures, 81 degrees. It is relatively cool, likely to get cooler as Brian goes 21.96. Good lap. Millett was a 21.95 on his first time around. See if he stays in it and picks up on lap 2. He does not. Millett drops to P2 as Chris Mefford goes to the pole. Loose out of 2, that's going to cost him.
It seems like that's maybe... Whoa, here he goes around.
Round he goes. The 84 Mefford loses it out of 4. Brian McCann goes P2, 21.935 for the 3. That was his second time around. Channing Ballou on the track. Awfully slow on the back. I don't know if he's waiting for a change in track temp or if he's going to go back to the pits here. He does. Mark Truxell on the speedway in the 5, the Little Tate's Cupcakes machine.
Mr. Consistency here. We'll see how he can qualify. Looked like he was on the brakes hard going in.
First lap for Truxell, 22.34. Chris Goins on track. Chris sporting some new colors as well. Title sponsor for tonight's race, Oxy Green Solutions.
That's actually not a bad looking truck.
Lap 2, 22.25. Good enough for P16 for now. Jason Spear in the number 25. 22.509, first time around. Good enough for 23rd on the board. .22.23, picks it up, puts himself 17th for the time being. Go to Jeremy Paris in the number 24. On his first lap down the backstretch.
We've seen the 24 up near the front throughout this season, throughout the races, so we'll see what he can do here.
22.023 puts him into the top 10 the first time around. We'll stick with Jeremy here. Oh,
ooh.
Little loose out of 2. He's going to get crossed up and put it in the fence.
I thought he was going to save it. He almost had it there.
Matt Goodell, number 85, Nitro Performance Ford F-150. Going to take a lot of patience to be quick around here tonight. These really fast guys really riding on the ragged edge. You see him getting crossed up out of turn number 2. Track lights just now coming on here at the Speedway. Oh, big time loose. See if it worked. 22.27. It was a tick faster. 20-second fast for Matt Goodell. Handful of drivers have not taken the time just yet.
Matt, everybody else kind of got loose coming out too. It looked like Matt got loose out of 4 both qualifying laps.
Well, getting out of 4 is a pretty common place to get loose because it's kind of deceiving. You get out of the corner and you kind of see some banking there on the front stretch. It's still kind of a corner, but it does fall off a little bit, and it's tempting just to stand on the gas, but you can't get away with it. Qualifying complete here at Richmond Raceway. Track temp has actually come up a bit. Oh, no, it hasn't. Little glitch there. It's now 80 degrees. So we've got a 5-minute warm-up session, to which we will take a short break. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Like Millet might have won this. He did by 2/100ths of a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315. Checkered flag. Contact, and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short... Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Richmond Raceway. Noble Racing Series Oxy Green Solutions 150 about to get underway here momentarily. Just finishing up a 5-minute warm-up session. Get everybody squared away and ready to race. We'll get to our starting grid here momentarily. So I already forgot my pick. Who did I go with? Brian McCann?
You went with Brian McCann.
Brian McCann, okay. Stream chat already getting busy here. We've got a bunch. We got Haley from Sweden, of course. Big Blue, Kevin Blue. Judy Tate, Tristan Sykes, Drew Blaze, Vincent Short, Cody Anderson. Thank you guys all for chiming in. Feel free to continue the chat throughout the race. All right, we are ready to race here. Drivers starting to stack up here on the front stretch on the grid. So let's go down and take a look at our starting grid for tonight's Oxy Green Solutions 150 on the pole position with a lap time of 21.924. It's the number 84 of Chris Mefford to his outside in the 3 with Brian McCann racing. It's Brian McCann. Zach Millett with Holler Boys racing. The 315 is going to roll from the second row in the 3rd spot with teammate Brian Rose to his outside starting 4th. David Bradford, the number 46 Speed Clinic Racing. He's going to start 5th with teammate Kason Plott, the 19, starting 6th. Channing Ballou, another Speed Clinic entry. Says 42, look for the 9 on the side of that truck. He starts 7th. Also a Speed Clinic Racing teammate, Jeremy Paris, the 24, starts 8th, with Alan DeFries with HLC Motorsports starting 9th. Keaton Burnett with Lone Star Racing, the number 26, is going to roll from the Keaton Burnett, the 10th position. He drives the 26. Kevin McCann in the 27, he'll start 11th, with Will Hewitt, the 33 Outcast Racing entry, will start 12th. Brandon Mefford, the 83, starts 13th. Blair Patterson, the 91, 14th. Thomas McMullen, 15th. Tristan Sykes, 16th. Michael Fahey will start 17th, dropping to the rear. Jason Spear will be 18th. Chris Mathis, 19th. Chris Goins, 20th. Joe Tucker, 21st. 22nd, Matt Goodell. Matt Kopp, 23rd. Mark Thomas, 24th. 25th, Mark Truxell. And Noah Rainwater, 26th. Carson Conway, 27th. Jesse Redding, 28th. Eric Beadle, 29th. Eddie Rose, 30th. Chris Elliott, Drew Blaze, 31st and 32nd. Neil Quick, 33rd. 34th is listed as Vincent Short. He's here as an admin tonight. And then Brian Torcha and Doug Wysocki rounding out the field here at Richmond Raceway. Strong field of trucks here tonight at Richmond. Hopefully we can kind of mind our P's and Q's and not have a disaster of cautions tonight. Hopefully these guys can get it under control early, get into some good long green flag runs. What do you think, Eric?
I'm hoping so. I know it's going to be a little bit different with these guys being all stacked up, and we got some fast guys getting some EOLs that's going to the back, so we'll see what happens.
It's all we can do. Field working the back straightaway here, going to be going green in about half a lap.
Let's go racing.
Pace car is off.
Green flag.
Mefford in the throttle. Takes the green flag down into turn number 1.
Caution's out.
Here, I don't know if David
Caution
Bradford
already. Matt Goodell in trouble.
We'll keep working on this thing for you.
Big time trouble. Matt Goodell, looks like Eddie Rose, and I can't see, maybe Doug Wysocki. First couple corners already in trouble here at Richmond. Eric, you were saying something about David Bradford on the initial start here?
I was just talking about David, or about Brian trying to get down, but David was there.
Well, lap 1, caution 1. Let's look at it, see what happened. Oh, looks like 85 just lost it on his own. Of course, first lap of the race, got drivers just trying to avoid. Eddie Rose piles in, Doug Wysocki piles in. Check it one more time here. The 85 truck, that black and red machine up top. It almost looks like Chris Goins may have got on the brakes a little sooner than the 85 had anticipated. Had to check up hard. Let's get a look here from the roof cam. We'll see it. If he closes in real quick here on Chris Goins, that's kind of going to be the telltale. Oh, yeah. Panic stop. Under our first caution of the night here from Richmond Raceway. Matt Goodell, Eddie Rose, and Doug Wysocki involved. Maybe a little nervousness for some of these guys, hard to say. Really what that translates to is he got some rear brake dialed into these trucks, especially on fresh tires. And what tends to happen is you dial in a lot of rear brake bias. You can adjust front to rear, how much pressure is applied to the front brakes, to the rear brakes, independently of front to rear. Well, these guys dial in a lot of rear brake. It does two things. It helps slow the truck down a little bit faster, and it helps the truck rotate. And effectively, it acts as a cornering mechanism on the truck. The problem is, if you have to stand on the brakes too hard, or panic stop, so to speak, it tends to over-rotate, and we saw that with 85. It sent him around into turn number 1 and in front of traffic. So it's kind of a love-hate relationship with brake bias, but I guess the juice is worth the squeeze in most cases.
Yeah, and I mean, the adrenaline's up a little bit in the beginning, too. I mean, it's up the whole race, but more so in the beginning. So I think everybody's just kind of trying not to be the one to cause the first wreck. And I mean, that's what he was trying to do, just stay off of him, and got on the brakes a little too hard.
100%. These things happen. Good for Goodell to lock him up there and not get into the 28 of Chris Goins. Pace car pulls off. Let's try it again here. Green flag is out. Back underway from Richmond.
Medford with a real good jump. McCann, too. Millett up on that high side, trying to fight back. Maybe going to get in line here. Looks like Brian Rose may be making a move.
First full lap under green has been completed. Field working off turn number 2. Some action in the back of the pack. Thought we were 3 wide for just a moment. Might have been between Alan DeFries and some of these other guys. Will Hewitt in the 33. Not really the back of the pack. Back of the top 10 maybe.
Woo, it's awful early to go 3 wide here.
I don't know if it was intentional or if somebody's like, I got to run. I got to take it. But yeah, it is early. 150 laps the race distance tonight. 8 laps in. Already got 1 caution in the books. Basically our first or second green flag lap to deal with.
The longer these guys run, the better off the tires get, the warmer they get. Until they start getting more, I think we'll be all right unless there's some contact.
Battle for the lead. Brian McCann goes to the inside. Chris Mefford up top. I think McCann's going to take this with ease. Out of turn number 4, new leader across the stripe. It's the 3 of Brian McCann. Chris Mefford going to try and cross over, at least thought about it. Looked to the inside for a moment. But now he's got to deal with Zach Millett on the tailgate of the number 84. Out of turn number 2. Little wiggle from Mefford. Millett all over in contact, maybe with the 84. Mefford into the wall. Oh, and still guys coming in making contact.
Yeah, I mean, Medford done the right thing there. You're always taught to kind of lock them up and let everybody dodge you, and that's what he done, and everybody was still getting into him.
Well, let's take a look at it. It looked to be a little contact with Zach Millett and Mefford. We'll see if it pans out this way.
I think that was net code, but
Well, yeah, there's net code. It's just so hard to figure out if he was really going to hit him or not. Let's try it again from the spotlight.
it was going to be close if he didn't.
Roof cam from Millett. Let's see how it looks from here.
He's
See, from there, it looks like almost definitely.
Yeah, from that angle, it looks like he was going to hit him. But I don't think he ever made contact with him. I think it was all net code.
Here's on board of Mefford. I mean, yes, there was definitely net code involved. It's just you kind of got to look at it from the perspective, all right, would they have made contact without that net code or not? But now we're going to watch Mefford here as he's parked. And then the 21 of Redding, I think it is, comes up the track, sends him back down the track in front of Kopp. Kaysen Plott's going to go by on the high side. So is Elliott. Brian Torsha going to go. He doesn't get any piece of that.
I remember when I was racing the official races, and that was always an issue. Somebody would wreck or get wrecked, and then they would try to get back going while people were trying to dodge them.
Drew Blaze in pit lane here. I can't imagine he's taking tires, but topping off fuel, maybe a little bit of repairs, who knows. Drew running the Jimmy Strong paint scheme tonight. Showing support to a Numb Thumbs Racing League associate.
Drew's always got the got one of the top paint schemes out here.
Well, between him and Mike Fahey, I think they both do all their own painting. I don't know if Drew is still painting for hire anymore or not, but typically he does his own trucks, and they always do look pretty good. So back out front, it's the three of Brian McCann and Zach Millett. Now, Eric, I know typically you've got race control in your ear, maybe some chatter. Have you heard anything about that incident? Did Millett shout out about it or no?
I do not have it tonight, so
Okay.
I'm not sure.
10-4.
I think that's 2 weeks in a row, though, that Medford's kind of got turned early in the race.
Bedford's not one that I want to make mad. 'Cause he's got some pace. If he decides to grab the aggressive gear, I think we're all in trouble.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything intentional from Zach. I mean, we've seen Zach racing in the closing, white flag laps and have a chance to dump somebody and hasn't done it and raced them clean.
Yeah, and it is super early. I mean, we're all human. None of us are perfect, and it could certainly happen, but I just don't see the 315 being at least that aggressive this early on. Maybe 15 to go, not lap 15.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%, Steve.
But you never know. Brain farts happen.
We'll see if that outside line can get a better jump than what they have the last 2 restarts here.
Green flag, green flag.
McCann wastes no time jumping out. It looks like Millett may be able to get down in front of Brian Rose, though.
Brian Rose in the third spot. He's got David Bradford to his outside. Contact with Brian Rose and David Bradford. Do they make it? Do they keep it together? How did the caution come out so soon?
Of course, that last run, did you see any rubber
Now
bands
it
at
needs
all?
the caution. Brian Rose and David Bradford coming together on the back straightaway. Yellow came out before anybody had even gotten around. Chris Goins is on his lid 10 minutes later. What is going on?
Looking at that in real time, it looked like Brian Rose is saving that if he don't get hit in the back end.
I would agree. Caution came out before he even got into, which is interesting, unless there was something else going on that we had missed. Try and get a better look at it here. So it looks like Rose came up at the same time David came down a hair, so that's just a racing deal there, and these guys seem to have it okay. The 33 gets into the back of Brian. And then it's just chaos after that. Chris Goins going for a ride. I think the damage model's a little out of control with Goins here. I'm trying to get a better look to see why that caution would have come out sooner than it had. We're not on admin cautions anymore. Should have been an iRacing related one, unless he had just slowed up all that much. Oh, wait a minute. Here, did I see that in the back of the...
Looks like somebody was going Channing Blue, maybe. He ducks down real low. I don't know if he's wrecking or just maybe sees it ahead or what.
I don't know if he doesn't look like he got loose.
Maybe he's just seeing what's going on up there.
Well, that could be the case too. Let's yeah, because I guess that did kind of materialize on the backstretch. We'll go roof cam here with Channing Blue. Oh yeah, good eye. Real good eye. Saw it shaping up ahead of him. But yeah, I still don't get why the caution came out so early. Typically, iRacing's late on the yellows.
Yeah, that was one of the quicker ones.
Well, taking a look at the damage on David Bradford's machine, it's banged up, but I think it'll still hunt, and he's got time to fix it. We're real early here in the OxyGreen Solutions 150. Right side looks pretty clean. I think David will still be okay here.
Yeah, I think especially here at Richmond. I think he's going to be all right. Might actually help him a little bit with that fender tucked in, get that tire coiled a little bit more. Where was that Dale Jr. had his tire sticking out and absolutely was wearing it out? That was Martinsville, wasn't it?
I think it might have been Junior or Martin True. I think it was Truex actually. The right front was exposed and it kept it nice and cool. So same thing with Brian Rose. Certainly some damage, but I think it will be all right. Again, if he gets some repairs made every stop, might be okay throughout the course of the run. Comes down to the crunch time here at the end of the race. Well, third caution of the night, 20 laps in. We were kind of concerned about this. Richmond's a tough place to get around, and we have a really big field tonight. We had 35 trucks take the green flag.
Green flag.
And green flag is back out. Brian McCann on the loud pedal down into turn one.
Looks like the 24 is going to fight Millett for second place here. I think Millett may get the run coming out of the turn, and he'll try to work his way to McCann now.
Zach Millett in the second spot. Brian McCann out to a 0.3 of a second advantage. Paris there in the third spot, the number 24 truck, 2 trucks behind the 315. Millett drives it in deep into one, gains some ground on the 3 of McCann. Battle in the back of the top 10 here. You got the 9 of Channing Ballou already looking for a top 10. Runs in the 11th spot, just a nose out ahead of the 83, working on the 54 of Chris Mathis. A little bit of right side damage. Go ahead, Eric.
Chris Mathis done a great job in too. I thought he was going to run over the 25, and you see him brake real hard.
Man, these guys are door to door. Out of turn 4, across the stripe, now down into 1. Things happen in a hurry here at Richmond Raceway.
Channing Ballou working his way towards the front. He started at the back with the EOL, so I'm sure he's anxious to get towards the front.
Well, it didn't take him long to get up into the top 10.
Working on Allen to freeze here, see if he can maybe clear him. Woo, those 2 were close. He's definitely fast here. He's working his way through the traffic quick.
Ballou up into the 9th position from, again, the tail of the field. Had to start at the rear. Back out front, battle for the lead. Brian McCann, Zach Millett, less than a truck in between. Millett has closed the gap in just a bit on the 3 truck. It's just a matter of how hard do you want to push this early.
I think Millett's going to maybe ride a couple more laps and kind of see Brian's line and playing his move.
So the thing about Millett, he's quick to begin with, but he's certainly not afraid to take a lesson from somebody that's fast. And he'll ride in the tire tracks for a while, try to pick up where he's slower, try to model the line that he's seeing out the front windshield and see if he can pick up any more time. And it sometimes pays off, sometimes it doesn't, but right now he's riding the tire tracks of Brian McCann, 0.2 of a second. Just running there, probably taking a lesson from the 3.
Yeah, I mean, I would say these 2 are 2 of the most experienced guys on iRacing when it comes to how long they've been doing this. Millett is running just a little bit higher than McCann in the turns.
Riding on board with the 3 of Brian McCann, your race leader. Meanwhile, an update from Auto Club Speedway. The Xfinity race live underway on FS2. Cole Custer, your race leader. Austin Hill, John Hunter Nemechek, Josh Berry. Your top 4.
McCann and Millett checking out
Putting
on
some
this
distance.
race.
Putting some distance on Jeremy Paris. Kevin McCann, though, he's up 7 positions. So is Will Hewitt, but Jason Spears up 10. Channing Ballou qualified in the 7th spot. Again, had to go to the rear, so he's definitely the biggest mover thus far. He still sits in the 9th position. Might have hurt the tires a little bit at this point of the run, just trying to get through the field. No worries, though. 2 sets of tires over the wall. 150 lap race, should be plenty of rubber to use here at Richmond.
Our stage break will be lap 62.
Correction, end of lap 60, so completion of lap 60. Brian McCann starting to stretch it out a bit. Now a half second over the 3:15 of Millett.
We've seen Millett do this before where he's kind of dropped back from the leader and then come with a train of speed behind him and battle back for the lead.
Again, might be a matter of saving his stuff, seeing what he has at the end of the stage. Just maybe trying to hang on to that 2nd place finish in the stage, trying to get those points.
Looks like McCann just keeps pulling little by little every lap.
Battle for position, Channing Ballou underneath Tristan Sykes for the 7th spot. 20 laps shy of the stage. Ballou takes the position away, move him up into the 7th spot. Tristan tried to cross over, took a look to the inside. Nothing available for Tristan. Also opened the door for Jason Spears, so Tristan's going to lose a couple of spots out of this, if not 3, because the 83 of Brandon Mefford is coming after his woes that spin off the nose of Zach Millett. He's already back into the top 10.
Jason Spears fighting hard. He just can't get that position.
Tristan Sykes, a newcomer here to the No Bull Racing Series. I'm pretty sure Tristan's got a lot more dirt background than anything else, but doing a good job here.
I think we may have an issue with his numbering too, Steve. I'm not sure if you'd noticed that.
99 on the door, 17 in the timing and scoring, but we're under caution once again here. Let's see what's going on. Blair Patterson, Alan DeFries appear to be the culprits here. Alan DeFries the wrong direction. That's not the right way to be. Don't see an issue with Patterson yet, but we'll get a look at it. So Alan DeFries in the white number 71, the Monster Energy Toyota. Patterson just ahead, that white, blue, and then red, white, and blue numbered South Point machine. Oh, Patterson just gets the wall on the straightaway. I don't know what happened there. So Patterson, the number 91, again, we're on the back street. He just takes a hard right into the wall on that Richmond side. Of course, slows the truck up. DeFries gets into the back, sends the 91 down the track. He bounces off the inside wall and back up the racetrack into DeFries. Who knows what was going on there? Other than potentially an issue with, I don't know, some hardware. Maybe the wheel came off. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a hard right turn. Definitely looks like something may have happened.
Under our fourth caution of the night, we're going to jump out, get a break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Sgarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back to the Noble Racing Series. OxyGreen Solutions 150, working our fourth caution of the evening. Going back to the green flag here momentarily. Field is on the one to go. The green flag racing the next time by.
We got, looks like we'll have about a 11 lap shootout, so may not be done with cautions before the stage.
If you guys are just joining us, the stage is the end of lap 60. So that would be the shootout that Eric is referring to. And since it is the end of lap 60, actually it would be 12 laps, because you got to run that final one.
I think we're getting one more pace lap.
Yeah, they extended the green, so we're going to go one more time around. So lap 50 will be the restart. Trying to get guys cleaned up as far as the order goes. I don't know if we had an issue on track. It says David Bradford crashed. I don't know if... Oops, wrong button. David trying to get caught up. Just drops to the inside. Maybe he's waiting for guys to go by. That would explain the yellow extension. Trying to get the lineup correct. So let's try it again. Pace car lights off. Peels down the pit lane here. We're back underway.
Ready, green flag.
Brian McCann wastes no time going. Nobody wastes no time going. He shoots out to a little bit of a lead, and Will Hewitt's going to duck under Zach Miller to try to battle him for second. And Brian McCann's loving this.
Yeah, Brian McCann out to a 0.4 of a second advantage already here since the restart half a lap later. Lap 50, third way through this race. 33.3333333. In the three leads. It's a good number. Brian McCann now enjoying a 1 truck length advantage over Zach Millett in the second spot. It stretches out to 2 truck lengths. Jeremy Paris and the 33. It says the 33 of Kevin McCann. It's actually the 27. Looks like he's got the wrong paint there. The 33 is actually Will Hewitt. 33 is the number that he runs over in the IROC series. Channing Ballou up into the 4th spot, or at least close to it, trying to take that spot away from Jeremy Paris.
Paris going to fight back. I don't think he's going to be able to, though.
Both teammates. He's going to fight back, but he's not going to be crazy about it. Don't want to wreck a teammate. Will Hewitt in the 6th position. He's got some trouble coming from Keaton Burnett on the outside. I don't know if Keaton's going to be able to get it done on the high lane, but we'll see. He's got a good run out of 4. Oh, man, close quarters racing here. Will Hewitt almost contact with the 24 of Paris.
Will Hewitt seeing it in there.
What's that, Eric?
Will Hewitt seeing it in the turn 2 right there.
Oh, Paris gets a piece of the wall at the start-finish line. Paris to the outside. Will Hewitt down low. He's up a spot now, putting the 33 into the top 5.
24 trying to get a nose under him. I don't think he's going to be able to unless he drives it in hard here.
Will Hewitt, a superior class auto racing veteran, sticking around here for the Noble Racing Series, moving his way towards the front. Again, he started in the 12th spot here this evening, up to the 5th position, starting to stretch it out over the 24 of Paris.
He's definitely someone who can win some races. We seen that last year.
Back to the battle between Jason Spear and Keaton Burnett. Spear on the bottom.
Well, I don't know if Keaton likes that outside line or he's just got stuck up there, but it seems like he's always up there.
Oh, man, I don't know if he just got a piece of the back bumper of the 25 truck, but they get away with it. Keaton checks up big time. He's going to lose a lot of ground. Quickly back to it, though. While Brandon Mefford in behind both of these guys, waiting for someone to make a mistake.
Great pass there. Last lap of this stage right here.
No contest out front for the top spot, Brian McCann, but second might be contended with. Zach Millett has it for now, but Brian's brother Kevin working his way up into the 3rd spot, all over the back bumper of the 315. Caution is out. That's the stage. Brian McCann, Zach Millett, Kevin McCann, Channing Ballou, Will Hewitt, Jeremy Paris, Jason Spear, Brandon Mefford, Keaton Burnett, and Neil Quick, the top 10 to complete stage 1 of 2. Well, man, once they got things figured out and stopped wrecking trucks, we had a pretty good run.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw some guys working their way towards the front, and it's going to be even better on this next stage with the longer run.
Speaking of stages, stage 2 from Auto Club, the Xfinity Series, it's Custer, Nemechek, Smith, Dillon, Kligerman, Allgaier, Meyer, Creed, Herbst, and Chandler Smith, the top 10 in the stage. Cole Custer has won stages 1 and 2. Pit stop's underway.
Looks like McCann's got the Dale Earnhardt Goodwrench crew out there.
Yeah, the Flying Aces, right?
Absolutely.
So let's see if we can pull Brian McCann into the booth and get a word with our stage winner. Brian McCann, it's Steve and Eric in the broadcast booth. You with us?
Hey.
Brian,
Yep.
Congratulations on that stage win. You've been fast right out of the gate. What's going to be the key to winning this race and getting it all the way home to wrap this thing up here today?
Looks like some of the drivers behind me are a little faster on the shorter run. I'm just going to try to stay out front, hopefully, and nothing bad happens. Just try not to make mistakes. I mean, that's what everybody's so consistent. That's what you have to do, just not make mistakes.
Certainly have the pace out there. We wish you luck the rest of the way, Brian.
Thank you.
It's Brian McCann, driver of that number 3 machine, winner of stage number 1.
That's also your pick.
I'll take it. Next season we got to really look at this and pay attention to things. We got to award points for the stage, everything. And you get one pick. You can't pick a guy to win the stage and then the race. Your pick is your pick.
I think you'd be beating me this season. We can start after this race, keeping score.
So meanwhile, we've got Mark Thomas in the infield care center. Let's try and bring the driver of the 50 machine up into the booth. Mark, it's Steve and Eric in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, my friends. How are you?
Mark, good to hear from you, man. I don't recall what incident put you out of this one. It might have been that first yellow flag, but walk us through, or are you still out in this thing?
Yeah, no. It wasn't the first one. It was second or third. I had nowhere to go. The guy was sideways right in front of me. I had a car to my left, car to my right. I was on the brakes, and I just hit him straight on. Came in, had optional. About 3 minutes of optional and about 5 minutes of 3 minutes of required, 5 minutes of optional. Took the lot in the hope, and the engine RPMs are still 850, 900 with the clutch in. So at some point that engine's going to blow. I am not going to go out there, have my engine blow and do somebody else's race. That's just not fair.
Busy night, a lot of cars out, a lot of trucks in tonight's event, so these things tend to happen. So unfortunately, an early end for Mark Thomas. Mark, thanks for coming up and talking to us, man. Good luck next week. I think we're at Kansas Speedway, so a little bit more room next week.
Oh, I hope so. I really hope so.
All right, Mark. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. We're back to green, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay then, buddy. Thank you.
Mark Thomas out of this one here early as we go back under the green flag here from Richmond Raceway. Brian McCann out to the early lead. Brother Kevin takes advantage. Little wiggle out of turn number 2, but he keeps the second spot over Zach Millett. Moved the 315 back to P3. Channing Ballou looking to the inside on Millett. Millett struggling here on the opening lap since the restart. Battles back on the high side.
How about the 27 of McCann? He shot in there.
Kevin McCann is no joke, and Ballou is sideways out of 2. He saves it in front of the field. Amazing save out of the 9 of Channing Ballou. That would have been a disaster. Gathers it back up. He slips down into the 9th spot. Wow.
We need to make a highlight reel of these saves. These guys do a fantastic job.
I'll tell you, love him or hate him, Channing Ballou is a wheel man, and he got it done there and kept that thing out of big-time trouble off turn number 2. Marked the lap, 68. It was almost disaster not to be. Runs in the 9th spot. He's going to have some work to do to get back up into that top 4 and challenge for a win here tonight at Richmond.
Absolutely. He's been fast, and he's came from the back once. I know he can do it again.
Still watching him work on the back bumper of the 25 of Spear.
Looked like Keaton Burnett hit the wall while we was watching Blue, and it slowed him down a little bit. I think he just had to regain his composure, though.
Truck looks pretty straight either way, so he got away with one if he did get in the wall. Tucked in behind Tristan Sykes there, and in behind him is the 05 of Noah Rainwater. Noah's up 14 spots, slowly but surely working his way through the field.
Looks like he's got the 89 of Brian Rose behind him, who was involved. He was run up front and involved in that accident earlier. trying to work his way back towards the front.
Damage looking less and less on that agentdotson.com F-150.
I know Brian said he put in a lot of laps this week here.
It's the thing about these HBR guys, we do see it, and in everybody else's defense, we don't necessarily know how much practice everybody else is putting in because we don't necessarily see it, but being HBR TV, we're kind of affiliated with HBR. We see when these guys are on track and turning the laps, and every single week there are multiple practices going up. So these guys constantly trying to get better and be competitive. There, of course, some of the guys in there involved in the admin duties of Noble Racing Series wanted to make this a series where they went from being the top 3 every week to I'm okay with being a mid-pack guy. We want the fastest we can get in here that are willing to race with us, help us build our own craft. You know, the whole theory of you can't be the man unless you beat the man. Well, that's true. You got to go out there and you got to find a way to hone your craft and be faster if you're going to beat some of these guys, and they certainly put the time and effort in to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being around for a few seasons, we see who puts in the practice.
Caution, caution.
Caution
really
on the
don't
speedway.
Any comments there, bud?
Alan DeFries, I think maybe in this one as well. Yep, again, the 71 of DeFries in trouble. DeFries is just going to tow it back to the pits. Let's take a look and see what happened to the 71. Working to the outside of the 29 truck. That is Chris Elliott. Slow truck down on the bottom. I think that might be Eddie Rose. Eddie losing connection. Hard to see if there was any contact here.
I think they were. It looked like the 29 may have got a little loose and came up into the freeze.
So let's take a look. We got a camera on the driver's right of the 29 truck. Let's slow it down. There's DeFries. And they do come together, it seems. It sends the 71 up the racetrack and around. Well, just past halfway. Some drivers opting for pit lane. Channing Ballou, one of them, ironically. Looks like fuel only for the 9. I can't imagine he took tires again. We were on pit lane very recently. I know he had his near-miss moment on the backstretch out of 2. I think that was, again, lap 68. Gonna have to go back and look at that one later on. That was just an incredible save. Drew Blaze, Chris Goins down pit lane. Chris probably just trying to get some more repairs made to that Oxy Green number 28.
Looks pretty good to flip down the track 4 times.
In all my years of watching racing, Earnhardt's the only one I've seen flip a car and then get back in it and finish the race. He's also the only one I've seen get out of the ambulance and back in the race car.
They probably wouldn't let him do it these days.
You know, if Earnhardt was here in this time, I think if anybody would have been allowed to do it, it would have been him. And it's not so much allowed, I just don't think you're going to stop him.
Be waving the black flag every lap to him.
Yeah, it's like, my car's black. What do you want me to do?
We'll have a McCann front row restart here.
Well, that's what's going to be fun to watch. I've done some kind of screw around racing with these two on road courses. It was a while back. It was at Watkins Glen, and I think it was in his super late model. We were toying around with the idea of a super late model road course series. Both of those guys are awesome on road courses. Kevin's a little bit faster on the road side. I think Brian's got his number here on the oval side, but either way, both of these guys are not to be messed with. They are fast. They're going to be hard to beat no matter the case. It's fun when you get to watch them work together, too. That's the other thing, is if you're on a super speedway with these guys, they are very good at drafting and working together. Of course, they're brothers. They know how one another race, so there's that factor that comes into play. It's like watching Major League Baseball. The infielders, they all know each other really, really well. It's about anticipation and just knowing where that guy is going to go or be before it even happens. And the same holds true here in racing.
Yeah, these two from the first time I've seen them race has always been near the front.
Again, they both come out of the IROC series, at least as far as our association with them. That's how we know them, but good to have them over here in No Bowl. Leading this race here as we get ready to go back to the green flag here. It'll be lap 81. Good old Barney waves that green flag once again, and we're back underway.
Green flag.
Looks like the top two got a good start there. Millet looking for the inside. Don't think he's going to be able to get there just yet. Looks like he lost a lot of ground. He may have got loose coming out of the turn there.
It almost looked like Millet was losing a bunch of spots, but he does regain back into the third position. The battle now is Will Hewitt and Neil Quick. Quick in the two. We got a caution again. Joe Tucker maybe in this
Around the
one.
course that last run, did you see any rubber laying
Yes,
down
indeed.
at all?
Not the right direction for the 13 either. Not that it's a great time to sell sponsors, but the tailgate is available on the 13. All right, let's take a look at it, see what happened to the 13 to Joe Tucker outside of the 05 and Noah Rainwater. Again, this is coming to the stripe. Oh, Noah drives it way deep. Backing things up here. I don't know. Let's try to get a better angle on it.
Was there maybe something happened that he checked up?
No, it doesn't look like it because the two trucks ahead of him really didn't check up as much either. I think Noah was just trying to beat him into the corner. And I still can't tell if Noah just slid the nose or if Joe came down a hair.
Do we have a camera for Mark Truxell?
Yeah, let me see if I can find Mark. There it is. Roof cam on Truxell. We'll slow it down here. Watch it from this perspective. Noah Rainwater ahead to the left and Joe Tucker to the right. You saw Noah check up right before contact was made. I don't know if he just realized he was going to slide up the track or what the scenario was, but either way, those two do come together. Of course, Truxell gets involved in this. Thomas McMullen, Eric Beadle. Looks like Chris Mathis. Ooh. Elliott comes in. This is a lot bigger than I thought. I thought it was just a couple of cars, trucks.
Yeah, that was a lot bigger than it looked originally.
Well, back under the green flag, 7th caution of the night. Lap 85 of 150.
Looks like we got a bunch of guys on pit road getting damage worked on right now.
Well, you got a bunch of drivers in that wreck. Of course, Thomas McMullen, one of them. He may be there for a bit. Noah Rainwater, Doug Wysocki. Joe Tucker, of course, he's in that. Now he's changing some tires. It's a good sign for the 05 at Rainwater. He's going to come back out. Tucker, a little worse for wear, but same thing, changing tires. He may give this another go. Meanwhile, at Auto Club Speedway, Sammy Smith, the race leader, Josh Berry, Sheldon Creed, Riley Herbst, Justin Allgaier are the top 5 with 67 laps to go. If you want to put something in the trivia memory banks for, I don't know, 10, 12, 13 years from now, when they ask, who raced the last top-tier series NASCAR race at Auto Club Speedway? And everyone's going to go, oh, it was the Cup Series. And everyone's going to forget the rainout. Because Xfinity's there right now after the Cup race. So there's your 10 years from now trivia. Back in 2023.
Look at Neil Quick, somebody we haven't talked about much today at all, but seems like that's a trend with him. We may not talk about him early, but when it gets towards the closing of the races, he's always up near the front.
It's nothing new for Neil Quick. That's kind of how it's been for a long time. All the time I can remember calling the SCAR races, he was always there at the end. Flag back out. Brian McCann in the gas gets the jump over brother Kevin. Truck length between the 3 and the 33.
I thought Miller may be able to battle the 27 of McCann, but just wasn't able to get there. Now he's going to have to battle with Hewitt.
Thought Jason Spear was going to go to the inside for a moment. He tucks in behind Neil Quick.
One thing about Miller, he hasn't got a very good restart these last two.
Jason Spear to the inside of Tristan Sykes. Very close quarters. They get away with it. No contact made.
The 89 of Brian Rose right there watching it, seeing if maybe he can put his nose somewhere and maybe pick up a position or two.
Good battles in the back here. Carson Conway in the 15th spot. That was between the 84 Mefford. Drew Blaze trying to take advantage as well. Carson Conway, the 72 Country Designs F-150 up top. 3 wide at the line. He's got Mefford in the middle, Blaze on the bottom. Blaze is going to take advantage. Mefford's going to check up to avoid disaster. Jeremy Paris is going to come into the fold as well. Carson into the wall, jumps down to the 84. Little bit of contact. Paris takes the spot from the 72. Move Carson back to 18th.
Them guys took it 3 wide a couple times right there. Neil Quick tried to make a move here. See if he's able to complete this pass.
Quick trying to get underneath the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Does so. Doesn't quite have him clear. Mefford battles back on the high side. You see all these guys. There's a handful of them that are just dirt tracking it out of 2 every lap.
Racing on the edge. Neil Quick now up to the 5th position, trying to wheel his way up to the 33 of Hewitt. Looks like these guys are kind of getting a little bit single file, spaced out a little bit for now.
Starting to calm down just to get ready for that final push to the finish. One more stop likely going to be needed before this one's over with. I didn't catch the fuel number beforehand, but can't imagine they're going to go 60-some plus laps before needing to pit another time, whether it's tires or fuel.
Two of Neil Quick still trying to catch the 33 of Hewitt. I know Neil loves to win, so I know he's got his sights set on picking them off one by one.
Thomas McMullen chimes in. Is he still in the race? No, he's not. He says 66 laps on a tank of fuel. Thank you, Thomas. Our in the pits reporter, the 02 of Thomas McMullen.
I think he may have been involved in that last accident.
Yeah, in fact, Thomas still sits on the pit lane. Out front, Brian McCann still with the lead, 7/10 of a second the advantage over brother Kevin McCann. Again, the 27 in the timing. Kevin's running the 33 on the truck, but he's got a mirror full of Zach Millett.
See if Zach's able to maybe get his nose under him here, make a move.
So Kevin's got pace, but I don't know if this Millett kind of held back there and saved his stuff for a little bit later on here in the run. With that, though, we're going to go HBR TV side by side. Don't go anywhere. You won't miss a second of the action, and we'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Richmond Raceway, battle for the second spot continues. Millett to the inside of Kevin McCann. Lap 109 about to go up on the board. Millett doesn't quite have the 33/27 clear. Down into turn one, he's got it. Second spot now back to Zach Millett. Kevin McCann going to tuck back in behind the 315, see if he can do anything with to retake. Nothing doing there, down into three. Millett stretches it to a truck and a half advantage. Still now almost a full second to go before he closes in on Brian McCann for the lead.
Looks like Kevin got in the wall and lost a lot of ground to the 315.
McCann will cross the stripe, and it'll be 40 laps to go here from Richmond Raceway. Dare we say green flag stops before this one's out? Oh no, the caution comes out as soon as I bring it up. Channing Ballou in trouble.
Look what you did.
I didn't even finish the sentence.
Look what you did.
Broadcaster's curse in full effect. Well, let's get a look at it. What happened here to the 9 of Channing Ballou. Down the back stretch, get the 84 of Mefford to the left. Oh, they both drive it in so deep there, and Mefford's going to make some contact at the door. Sends the 9 up the racetrack. Now, I got to tell you, I've seen this a bunch tonight. The smallest amount of contact mid-corner here at Richmond is all that it takes to send a truck around. Man, he got really lucky. Eric Beadle went through and almost clipped the 9. See if I can get a better look at it from here, but Mefford gets to the inside. Throttles back up, just gets the door, but yeah, I mean, the initial contact, I don't think it was much, but then you see a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of net code after the fact, and then it just sends Ballou around like he got nailed. The contact wasn't that severe.
Ooh. Beetle barely, I mean, by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, it was close. So, well, there you have it. Pit stops under the green flag, not going to happen tonight. Final pit stops underway here at Richmond Raceway. Our 8th caution of the night. Lap 113 of 150. Matt Goodell, your current leader. Then it's Brian McCann, Kevin McCann, Millett, and Hewitt, the top 5. Again, Goodell did not pit this time by. His last stop was lap 85. Goodell likely just getting some extra points out of this. Now, the question is, does he stay out the next time around, or does he take an opportunity to pit? Because that truck is damaged and on old tires. It could be a disaster on the restart if he stays out front.
Yeah, I would have to think he's going to pit, or, I mean, he's going to drop like a fly here.
He's got an opportunity to do so, and he stays out. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, this... Not saying it's going to happen, but normally this is how accidents happen.
Case and plot down the pit lane.
You know, and I was just sitting here looking at the scoring tower, and it looks like the 27 of McCann beat Millett off pit road. And Zach Millett's smart, and he knows he wanted to be behind the number 3 on the inside. So I wouldn't be surprised if Millett didn't try to plan to come out third right there. And, you know, that's going. If that's the case, it's really going to hurt his strategy.
It's very interesting, too, because there's no choose cone here in iRacing. We do have it, obviously, in NASCAR real life, but maybe someday we'll see it over here, which I don't know if I'm looking forward to it or dreading it, one or the other. It's probably not going to be the greatest idea, but I don't know. Depends on the league. I think we'll get it figured out. But yeah, you may see guys throttle up or check up depending on where they are in that final pit line exit to kind of determine where they're going to line up on the restart, because it does make a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Millett struggle on that high side, so I think he was trying to get behind the 3 of McCann. Now he's going to be on the high side, which could be a good thing because the 85 is not going to be as fast. So, I mean, it could work out for him.
Really could work out well because Goodell is not going to fire well. His last stop at 85, tires are going to spin. If he gets out of this without spinning the tires, I'll be shocked. Here we go, pits. Pace cars down the pit lane. Green flag in the air. But Brian McCann doesn't want to beat him to the line because he just want to get that black flag, but it doesn't go. Goodell to the inside. McCann thought about going to the middle. That's Kevin, the 33, goes to the outside of Goodell on a turn number 2.
3 wide right here.
Oh, man, are they going to get through this or not? Goodell, nope, the 84, 83 in the wall. Oh, driver's still piling in after the fact. Yellow was out. Guys, he got to check up. Oh, Brandon Mefford's not happy.
I thought something like this was going to happen.
Temper's flaring, I think. Mefford might have calmed down quick enough, but he is certainly not pleased. Well, let's take a look. So Brandon Mefford, the 83 truck, he's to the right. The black, red, and white machine up top. You got Will Hewitt in the middle. They're 3 wide on corner entry. Goodell on old tires. No room for Will Hewitt. Goodell slips a little bit. I don't know if that's what sent Hewitt up the track, but definitely contact was made. Then Tristan Sykes get into it. And then the rest is going to get way worse. Everybody just piles in here.
It looked like Hewitt may have held his line there. I'm not 100% sure, but
I'll look at
it's
it
what
again
kinda
here
looked
from
like.
a different perspective. This might be an okay angle. We'll see here in a minute. And Mefford, the 83 truck up top. No, looks like Will throttled up. There was contact.
Yeah.
It was
From
minimal.
from that last camera view, it didn't look like that, but 100% looking at that one.
Just a big mess out of turn 4.
Been a tough day to be in Bedford tonight.
Yeah. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back to Richmond Raceway. Lap 122 of 150. Going to go to the green the next time by. Brian McCann in control. Zach Millett to the outside. Second row, it's Kevin McCann and then Neil Quick. Pace car pulls off.
Green flag.
It's like Zach may have spun the tire just a little bit on that start.
Millett to the outside of Kevin McCann. Drives out of the corner a little bit ahead to check up. Slid the nose just a bit. Caution on the speedway. Again, Chris Mefford, Channing
Be ready with,
Blue.
there you go. Be ready with that brake clean and stuff, guys. Your blower, they're going to drop down some oil dry here, I'm sure.
So this is an interesting situation. You see Brandon Mefford in the 83 truck?
Yep.
You see Chris Mefford in the 84 truck?
Yep.
You know how they look almost exactly the same?
Yep.
All right, let's watch the replay. Nope, not how I thought it went down. I just saw Mefford and Ballou involved, and I figured he was getting some payback and paid back the wrong Mefford, but not the case. You guys saw it happen here. Just contact, incidental across the board. Mefford, Ballou, Burnett, Torsha, all involved in this one. Watching it from Baloo's perspective, he was behind the incident. See, the 85 looks like it was Goodell, slid up, got the 84. Then Paris slides up and gets the 9. 2 Speed Clinic Racing entries involved in this. Tenth caution of the night. 25 laps to go.
Every time I pick somebody, they get involved in a wreck. I'll tell everybody give me $10, and if they don't, I'm gonna pick them to win.
It's like your bad luck has continued from last season.
Yeah, I don't think I've got but one top 10, and you got to win in all top 10s. The 3 of Brian McCann, though, what a performance he's put on so far. He's been out front almost the whole race, and we'll see if anybody can knock him off that.
And it's to really no one's surprise. I mean, you look at a guy like Brian McCann, he's running with a 5,000 I rating. He's got the ability level. There's just no two ways about it. You got other guys in here that are quick too, like Case and Plot. He's a 6,200 I rating guy. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, I rating doesn't mean much, but it really does when it's high. Obviously, you've got a 1,500 I, or even like Zach Millett, for instance. He's a 2,300 I rating guy, but he doesn't run officials hardly ever. Unless we're bored, we want to mess around and run an official, he'll run one, but that's really about it. Brian McCann runs officials. Case and Plot, he runs, I think, Road to Pro stuff. You won't really see an indicator of how good a guy is if he's in that 1,500 or 2,000, 2,500, whatever it may be. He might be that good. He might not be. Brian McCann's good. He's showing everybody why.
Yeah, I mean, look at his truck, too. I mean, not a scratch on it. When, 90%, 95% of the field has marks on their trucks.
Well, it's still short track racing either way, and if you want to be out front, that's a safe place to be for the most part. Race car is in. Green flag waves.
Green.
Back to racing, 22 to go. Kevin McCann trying to hold off Zach Millett for that second position now, but Millett's got to worry about the 2 and they'll quit here.
Quick to the inside of Zach Millett for the 3rd spot. Just a nose, just enough to keep Millett from coming down. McCann's 1 and 2. Millett looking to the outside of Kevin McCann off of turn number 2. Nothing there. Has to tuck back in behind. Almost contact with the outside wall. Meanwhile, Neil Quick tucks back in behind Millett. Will Hewitt taking a peek to the outside or either overdrove the corner? Hard to say. Still tucks in behind. Runs in the 5th position. Will Hewitt having a solid night. Caution on the speedway once again.
Hey man, your mic sounds like it's a little far away from your mouth again. Just double check
Chris
that part,
Elliott,
please.
Doug Wysocki. Trying to find these guys. Don't know if Jason Spear was in this one as well. Let's get a look. 29 of Chris Elliott.
I think that's Doug in front of him, so it may have come from Doug starting it here. No, it's above them.
Keaton Burnett, Jeremy Paris. So let's back this up a little further. So the 83 of Mefford, he's to the inside of Paris here. So let's watch this. Yeah, Brandon just slides up a bit, gets into the left rear of the 24, sends him around off of turn 4.
Keaton has nowhere to go. And here comes Doug.
Yeah, speaking of nowhere to go. Chris Elliott, same situation. They all just kind of pile in. So if you're wondering why no one's taking the opportunity to hit pit lane, is no one's got any tires left.
Not sure it would do much good considering the amount of cautions we've had either. I mean, if you were going to the pit for tires, you would need a longer run, and I'm just not sure we're going to get that.
There's really not enough guys that are a lap down at this point that it would be a huge advantage, though if you did have a set of tires versus everyone else, say you're running 10th on back, I would take that opportunity all day because you're at least going to get back to where you were. Like Fahey in the stream chat, keep my teammate's name out your explicative mouth. I don't even know what he's talking about, but I got
Who's his teammate?
I don't know. I got a chuckle out of it, so we'll get that. Fahey, I don't know who you're talking about, man.
Fahey, I'm picking you next week just for that.
You don't even need to pick him. No, I know who Will Smith. He says Will Smith, boomer. I know who Will Smith is. I just don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe he's talking about all his teammates.
I don't know. I don't think he has teammates. They're all trying to see him wreck.
He does get the most cheers to wreck.
I mean, look at Tristan Sykes here. Let's ride on board with Carson Conway here. If you look close enough, the rear spoiler of Tristan Sykes, what does it say? Can you see it? Come on, Carson.
I can't make it out.
Catch up, Carson.
Carson can't even catch up on
it. And now he goes by. Well, it says, quote, "You know why I'm here." And in case anyone forgets, he's here to watch Fahey wreck. Some teammate. Brought it on yourself, Mike. Pace car lights are off, going back to the green flag next time by. It'll be 14 laps to go. The McCann brothers leading the field down. Then it's Zach Millett, Neil Quick, Will Hewitt, Drew Blaze. Where did Drew come from? Brian Rose is in the mix. David Bradford. Carson Conway sitting in the top 10. Pace car's off.
Green flag.
You heard the man. Green flag waves. We're back underway from Richmond Raceway.
Zach Millett again with kind of a slow start as he's battling Neil Quick.
Now we'll see if this pays off for Quick because he was on the inside the last restart. Millett was able to defend from the high side. We'll see if he can do it on the bottom.
Millett's quick. I think he just needs to maybe get in the second position in clean air. He's not going to be able to do it like he is.
Until if he had a better opportunity here, he might have been able to get to the inside of Kevin McCann there. But Neil Quick battles back on the high side, has a better run out of turn 2. Millett drives it way deep into turns 3 and 4.
These two battling nose to nose right now.
Yeah, and through this battle, they're still closing in on the 33 of McCann. Kevin, that is. Battle behind them, Will Hewitt and Brian Rose going at it. Oh, Neil Quick in the wall in the entry to turn 1. Just a mental mistake by the two. He's going to tuck back in behind Millett. Meanwhile, the battle between Hewitt and Rose still hot and heavy.
Door to door right here.
Hewitt with a nose of the advantage down into turn number 1. We'll see if Brian can battle back out of turn number 2, or will he tuck back in to close off the advance from the 1? He does. Crosses over. We'll see if he's got to run down into 3. He's there.
What a crossover.
Lane change. Brian Rose goes to the inside. Will Hewitt scrapes the outside wall. Not enough to slow him down. Drives it way deep into turn number 1. He might slide up the track here. No, he doesn't. Makes it stick.
That was a great drive by Hewitt.
Incredible run. He's got some pace here. He's closing in on the 2 of Quick as well.
Caution's out.
Caution is on the speedway,
Any
though.
thoughts on
Tristan
hitting or
Sykes
staying out at
now
all?
has crashed. Wrong direction.
Uh-oh, Tristan. Mike Fahey may have something to say about this.
Yeah, I think Mike wrecked first, though, I think. I'm not 100% certain on that. But... Well, let's see what happened here with Tristan. Drive the number 99. Channing Ballou to the back bumper. Oh, just jacks him up. Full on wrecks him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that.
Well, you're a broadcaster. You kind of have to.
I mean, he had opportunities to get out of the throttle here, and looks like he just ran him over.
We'll watch it full speed. There's a bump. Another bump. Okay, so watching it from the onboard, I have a different opinion. And
I changed mine.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And it seems more like, yes, there was a bump mid-corner, and Tristan got the message, but off the corner, it looks like Tristan got loose, checked up to try and collect the truck, and then Channing ran him over. I don't think that was intentional now that I'm looking at it.
From that view, I would say that's correct, in my opinion. It looked like Blue may have got loose too, as he might have been trying to dodge.
I mean, there was contact regardless, but again, we're short track racing. That initial bump, I don't have any problem with that whatsoever, but I think Tristan might have been trying to save it, checked up, and Ballou was just inches off the back bumper, and there you go. Not a whole lot you can do at that point.
Yeah, that first view looked like he may have bumped him and never let up, but I don't think that's the case off that second one.
That's why we take a look at multiple angles, because it does matter. So pace car lights still on, so we're going to probably get the restart with 3 to go. So this one's going to be interesting. I don't think we're done with yellows. We'll see.
Millet's got to be able to find his restart here. I mean, he's struggled the last few restarts.
I think, from what I can see, it seems like Millet's being reactive instead of anticipatory, which I know that's a huge word, but he's got to kind of, I can't spell it. He's got to anticipate that restart. He's got to think, okay, this is when he's going to go. He's got to guess, and if he guesses wrong, he's going to have to check up. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe he's been anticipating and guessing wrong. It's hard to say, but he's due for a good restart. He hasn't had one yet. He's lost almost every time. He's been able to battle back, but certainly not been able to take advantage.
Yeah, and I'm sure the McCanns are talking and maybe even timing this better.
Pace car is off.
Green flag.
Brian gets a killer restart. Millet does a little better this time. Taking a look to the inside on Kevin McCann, down into turn number 1, the 33 up the track. Millet with the spot. Neil Quick in the wall. Checks up the field a little bit. Coming to 2 laps to go. Brian McCann out in front. Millet second. Kevin McCann P3.
We got somebody going around.
Caution, caution, caution. I think Jason Spear, Jesse Redding. Jesse's still wrecking. So Tristan Sykes, to the previous caution, did confirm he did get on the brakes off corner, but that was just to catch it from the contact. So yeah, it was contact related. Let's see what happened to Jesse Redding here. Oh, Drew Blaze was just dirt tracking. I don't know if you saw that, but he saved it.
Wow.
So the 21's Jesse Redding, the black and green truck. Looks like Mefford, gets to the left rear on exit, sends him around. Brandon Mefford involved in this one. Chris Mefford right there. Jeremy Paris takes a ride on his lid. Thirteenth caution of the night. We're going to take an opportunity to get one more break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Richmond Raceway, the Noble Racing Series. Lexi Green Solutions 150. Officially into a green-white checkered situation. Going to get the one to go this time by. It's Brian McCann, Zach Millett, Kevin McCann, Will Hewitt, Neil Quick. Brian Rose, Drew Blaze, David Bradford, Kaysen Plott, Channing Ballou, the top 10. Channing still in that top 10 after being involved in a handful of incidents here tonight. This shows you the raw pace that the 9 has. If he didn't have an EOL penalty tonight, he would have been right out front most of this night. Base car lights off, so we're going to get the green flag the next time by. Jesse Redding, you see him to the inside there. He's dog tracking it down the inside. I don't think that truck's going to be competitive at all. Loses connection, too. That's not a good thing.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Here we go.
Green flag.
Brian McCann with another solid restart. 2 laps to go. Kevin McCann takes advantage. He's back into P2. Then for the third spot, it's Millett and Quick. Millett to the outside, Quick down low. Does he have him clear? He does. Millett back into P3, solidly on his own. Brian Rose tilting to the inside of Will Hewitt. Nothing doing there. On to turn number 4, white flag waves. Brian McCann takes it. This would be the last lap of the race. Cautions be damned. Millett tries to drive it down to the bottom, closes the door, does Kevin McCann. On to turn number 2, Brian and Kevin, brothers 1 and 2. McCann started outside front row, couldn't get the pole, but here he is out of turn number 4, takes the checkered flag. The Oxy Green Solutions 150. Second place is Kevin McCann, Zach Millett, Neil Quick, Will Hewitt, the top 5.
What a race.
Woo! I know we had a bunch of cautions, but man, it was still a decent race.
Yeah, Millett done a great job at last lap, not wrecking him and McCann.
Doing his best Kevin Harvick impression, it looks like. I did a burnout like this in the ARCA car at the Glen. Now they're all doing it. So McCann 1-2, so the brothers are going to celebrate together. We're going to jump out, going to break out of the way, be back with our top 3 finishers after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Richmond Raceway. Round number 5 of the Noble Racing Series is in the books. Brian McCann, your race winner. Bring the driver of the number 3 into the broadcast booth and get a word momentarily here. Brian, it's Steve and Eric in the broadcast booth. You got a good copy?
Hey, I do.
We talked to you after the stage victory and the race victory. Congratulations on the win here at Richmond. What was the key to tonight? Was it really tire savings or just raw pace?
The key was what my brother's been saying for the last 2 weeks in the group chat that we're in. He's been gloating about not practicing, and by doing so, he comes out here and starts winning. So I was like, you know what? Tonight I'm not going to practice. So that was the key to winning.
Well, we've actually heard that a lot from some of the IROC guys. Neil Quick's been notorious for, I just bought the track, or I haven't turned a lap all week, and I have a good finish. But either way, it worked out for you, so congratulations, Brian. A great win here tonight. dominating performance. I don't think there was a lap you didn't lead, and I don't think we really got to green flag stops. So you're going to carry that momentum into Kansas Speedway next week. What are your thoughts rolling into Kansas next week?
Kansas, got a little bit of experience on it. I do like the track. It's a pretty fun track here in the trucks. So yeah, I really look forward to it.
Put the number 3 in victory lane here tonight. Hopefully you can try and do it again next week. Certainly going to be a contender. Congratulations, Brian. We're going to let you go and get to brother Kevin here. Is there anyone you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, my family, my wife, you guys for doing the broadcast, our sponsors that helped put this on, the league admins, put a lot of work into this league, a lot of great drivers in here. I love coming out here every week and racing with them. Yeah, just everybody watching tonight as well. Thank you.
All right, Brian. Well, thanks for talking to us. And again, good luck next week out at Kansas.
Thanks.
It's Brian McCann, your race winner, short and sweet for the driver of the number 3. We're going to pull brother Kevin into the booth here next. Our runner-up. This keeps changing on me here. Hang on. Kevin McCann, Steve and Eric in the HBR TV booth. You got us?
Yeah, how's it going?
It's going good, Kevin. Again, congratulations here on a runner-up finish here tonight at Richmond. I know you haven't made all the races, but the ones that you're going to be involved in, you're certainly going to be a contender. You proved that here tonight. You started, I think it was the 11th position, worked your way all the way up into P2. A good battle between yourself and Zach Millett. Talk us through that final restart.
Yeah, Zach was really quick on the short run and the long run there toward the end, so I really struggled to get up the speed, so was just really trying to put my truck in a good position there. He got around me before the last restart. He I don't know how he threw that Hail Mary and made it stick, but that was pretty impressive. So I saw him do it and I was like, well, I'm gonna try it on this last restart here. So just was lucky enough to be able to get a good launch there. It seemed like that outside line really struggled, so was able to get under him there going into one, and just was able to hold it off there. If we'd have had some more green flag laps, though, I think it might have been a different story. He was a heck of a competitor to hold off, that's for sure.
It's certainly been a battle that we've all been waiting to watch. Drivers like yourself, your brother Neil Quick, Zach Millett, getting all you guys together and watch that battle kind of come together throughout the season. It was fun to see a glimpse of it here tonight. You come out on top in the second position. Millett takes the P3. Next week, we roll into Kansas Speedway. Certainly much different here than Richmond. What are your thoughts going into Kansas?
Yeah, another big track. We'll just have to see what this aero package does. Wasn't too impressed with Vegas, so hopefully not much of the same there, but it could be a strategy race, who knows. So maybe some team racing going on. We'll just have to see.
That's all we can do. Kevin, again, congratulations on the second position. We're going to let you go. Is there anyone you want to shout out to?
Yeah, just a shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast and the guys put on the No Bull Series League.
All right, Kevin, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Yep, you too, thanks.
It's Kevin McCann, your runner-up here at Richmond Raceway. Next, we're going to go to Zach Millett, third place finisher. He's had to put the work in here this season. Zach, it's Steve and Eric in the broadcast booth. You got us?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going well, sir. Congratulations on a P3 finish. Certainly, I know you would have liked to get that second spot from Kevin McCann. It seemed like no one was touching Brian tonight. But walk us through your race. Was there anything there late you could have done on that final restart to get around Kevin? He did mention you were great on that short run, and somehow he still held you off.
Yeah, I mean, I think all I could really do was what I tried there in the one. I don't know. I really didn't have anything for either one of the McCanns in 3 and 4 at all, or Brian in any part of this track. Really, he was on a different planet tonight. But yeah, I sent it in there. He did a great job blocking. I wasn't gonna wreck both of us for that, so I'm glad we both hung on to it and kept our podiums.
We did watch on that restart. You drove it real deep, down low, into turn 1, trying to get that spot from Kevin McCann. Even put a 50-foot patch of rubber to the inside. By the way, below the yellow line, how you managed to come out of there and not wreck the truck and still finish P3 is beyond us. Walk us through the mindset. Did you have an open door, or did it just shut too soon? What was the deal there?
Yeah, maybe a slight open door. I had about half a second to think about the decision, so I just dove it in there, hope for the best, and again, he did a great job pulling down. It was perfectly done. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm happy to come home third. I hate that Chris Medford and I got together in the start of this race, man. I feel awful about that. I got to apologize to him. I didn't feel like I was that close to him. I mean, we both dove it in there. It was early. I think he just checked up a hair earlier than I thought he was going to. So, big sorry to him. We'll see if hopefully he's not too pissed about that. But yeah, I'm glad to come home third.
Well, we're glad you brought it up, because honestly, I was going to forget to bring it up. But we wanted to kind of talk about it with you, how it looked from your perspective on our end in the replay side of things. There was a slight bit of net code that actually initiated the contact. It was just very difficult for Eric and I to really determine whether or not there would have been contact otherwise. We thought it could have been a little aggressive for that early on in the race. I mean, kind of go into more detail. I mean, what really happened there?
Well, a lot of these guys, I mean, we can run pretty damn close to each other and not worry about it. But I mean, whenever there's even a little bit of net code, it really just kills all of that, you know. I think that without the net code, I could have stabbed the brakes and, you know, dove the nose down and stayed off them. It wouldn't have been a big deal to do. But yeah, I mean, we're just tight running up there, seeing what everybody had on the first run, and just yeah, I mean, it is what it is with the net code. It sucks. It just sucks, especially with Chris. I mean, I know he was turned last week too. I mean, I've been there. It's really irritating. So he'll probably come back next week and win out of vengeance.
Well, speaking of next week, we're out at Kansas Speedway, certainly a much bigger track than we have here at Richmond. A little more room to get away with some certain things. What are your thoughts going out to Kansas Speedway?
Yeah, it's a nice wide track. It should be a lot of fun to race there. Same thing, all these guys are going to be really fast there. There's going to be, you know, 10, 15 trucks that can win the damn thing. So it's going to be good, tight racing. Doesn't get any better than this in Noble.
All right, Zach. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. We're going to let you go. Who do you want to shout out to?
I got to thank you, Steve and Eric, for HBR TV, Oxy Green Solutions for this race. It's awesome to see them come on board. The guys over at Right Turn Racing and all the admins that really keep us all together and keep us entertained. Absolutely. Track Bar Media and Eric Dotson State Farm, and shoot me a follow over on Twitch at that S4 guy.
All right, Zach. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Thanks, guys.
Well, Zach Millett, your third place finisher here at Richmond Raceway. Of course, rolling out to Kansas Speedway next week. Let's take a look at our race results for tonight. Talk to our top three, Brian and Kevin McCann, then Zach Millett. Then fourth place, it was Neil Quick. Fifth place went to Will Hewitt. Good, strong finish for the 33. Brian Rose brought it home in the sixth spot. David Bradford was seventh. Drew Blaze, P8. Kason Plott was ninth. Channing Ballou started in the back, involved in, I think, 2 or 3 different cautions, still managed to grab a top 10. Carson Conway, a solid finish for the 72. 11th place, Eric Beadle, another solid finish for the 119, was 12th. 13th position went to Brandon Meffert. 14th was Chris Gones. Matt Goodell was 15th. Brian Torsha was 16th. Keaton Burnett, 17th. Jeremy Paris was 18th. 19th went to Jesse Redding. Tristan Sykes was 20th. Jason Spear, 21st. Doug Wysocki, 22nd. Chris Mefford, 23rd. Chris Elliott, 24th. Thomas McMullen, 25th. Michael Fahey, the number 16 machine, was 26th. Chris Mathis, 27th. Blair Patterson, 28th. Joe Tucker, 29th. Noah Rainwater was 30th. Mark Truxell in the 5 was 31st. Alan DeFries, 32nd. Mark Thomas, 33rd. Eddie Rose was 34th. And Matt Kopp was 35th. 146 laps down, likely involved in an early caution that put him out of this one. And again, Vincent Short classified last here as our race admin. We'll get that worked out next week at Kansas. I want to thank everybody for jumping in the stream chat. We had a bunch of you tonight. Always appreciate it. It makes things so much better. We had a pretty busy race to call, so we couldn't interact with you guys as much as we'd like to, but I do appreciate you guys conversing back and forth. We are now an international broadcast. I don't know if I've said that a million times, but thanks to Haley for chiming in from Sweden. We do appreciate it. Mike Fahey, we've got Chris Fahey, Tristan Sykes, of course, Noah Rainwater in the chat, Greg Bowen, Kevin Blue, Cody Anderson, Ray, let's see, Thomas McMullen, Four Locos, I've had a few of them before, Tucker Family, Cody Anderson, we talked, Vincent Short. We got a bunch of you guys in here. Really do appreciate it. Those of you that didn't chime in and you're just kind of here lurking, come on, give us a follow. youtube.com/@symbol, the letters HBR TV and the number 1. That's where all the live streaming happens for all of these races. Also on facebook.com/HBR TV1. You'll occasionally get stream links and a couple of posts here and there, nothing too crazy. Post-race pictures, results, that sort of thing. Check us out, both those social media platforms. That's where you can kind of stay in the loop with everything HBR TV. It's going to wrap it up for us here at the Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Eric Dotson, thank you for joining me up here in the broadcast booth. Your presence is always welcome and an extreme help. I got to absolutely just say that to the highest mountain, man. I appreciate your help out here.
No problem. I enjoy it.
Well, that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Join us next week at Kansas Speedway. Thanks for watching.